Now let's look at the data that you can see in the eAdvisor tracking tool. The first tab is the Status tab. This tab will have an overall view of the student's status. At the top, you have the student's name and an icon you can click on to email the student. You can also see the student's ID, and any service indicators will show up next to the student ID. Next to that, you can see the student's groups that they are enrolled in, and then the student enrollment below that. The student enrollment will show the enrollment for the current term, the most current past term, and any future term that they may be enrolled in. In this example, you'll see that they took 13 credit hours in the spring of 2013 and had a GPA of 2.71, and that in the fall of 2013, they're signed up for 12 credit hours. Notice that the GPAs are the same. That's because the grades have not yet been posted for the new term. Over here you have the student's current plan. This student is currently in mechanical engineering, and this is their catalog year. Here's the student's academic standing, and here's the legends for the different requirements. For students in catalog years prior to fall of 2013, you'll only see 4 terms and critical major requirements. For students starting with a catalog year of the fall of 2013, you'll see all 8 semesters. The first 4 have critical major requirements, and the last 4 terms have necessary requirements. Here you see the effective date that was last updated and the evaluated plan, the one that they were last evaluated against. Next to that is the catalog year and the review status. This student has not been reviewed yet. Notice that the overall status of this student is off track. Also notice that there's only one row listed here in the results, and that's because when we searched, we did not select Include History. If you'd like to see the entire history of a student, you can go to the bottom of the screen and click on Include History. This may take a moment to process. Now we jump to the top of the screen, and you can see that there are now 33 rows to look through. Each row will be one review cycle of the software. As we scroll down, we'll now see which track term the student is being evaluated against. This student is being tracked against track term 3, which means they are being tracked against all the requirements for terms 1, 2, and 3. As we scroll down, we see that in track term 1, the student is off track for a GPA requirement not being met. And in track term 3, one of the classes that's required has not been either enrolled in or taken. At the bottom, you'll see the date and time that the record was recorded and who updated it. If you see ASU critical tracking, that's the automatic process that runs at night. At the very bottom is a link to an FAQ and an email link to send feedback about the system to the developers. Now let's take a look at a student from the fall of 2013 and see how their record will look a little different. This student is a first-time freshman, so there's only one term of enrollment. All the rest of the information is the same. But notice as we scroll down, that now the student has 8 semesters of data. And in the last 4 terms, critical requirements are now replaced with necessary requirements.